Hey everybody. So this is going to be for Libra for May. I've decided to do a little bit different of a reading. I really enjoy change and switching it up. I know some people feel a little uncomfortable with that. So just let me know what you think about it. For those of you who have watched my readings previously, you know that I base my work mostly in like spirituality and the relationship with ourself, so that we can have better relationships, well, with ourselves and then, of course, with other people. So the way these readings work is, this is going to be our message. Here, let's see if we can push that over a little so you can see it better. Okay, so this is the message from your inner child. This is going to be the message from your present self. This is the message from your future self. This is what a part of your ego that needs to be dropped. This is the strength that you're harnessing during this time, and this will be the overall advice. Okay, Libra? So let's go. Inner child. Present self. Awesome. Future self. What you need to drop in your ego. What your strength is right now. That's a good one. And the overall advice. Interesting. Okay. Well, for those of you who haven't watched the Outer Circle or Autumn readings yet, I would suggest watching that. So again, I just heard something happened when you were 8. What happened when you were 8? Like, write it down. Where were you? Where did you live? Who did you live with? What changes were you going through at 8? I think it'll help you realize something, because your inner child is talking to you from a place of, like, that's saying that it's still afraid of something. And, you know, there's something with your inner child that needs to be released, like healed and released. And that's a good card to get, although this card may seem, you know, whatever the imagery may be, but it really represents a lot of different aspects. But the most important is that 8 is a number of stability. And, you know, she doesn't see it because her eyes are blindfolded, but you can tell here, all these are lined up, except for this one up front. And the Ace of Swords is all about victory. So it shows me that you have the ability to be able to, I mean, really, you could just, like, put your arms out, you know, get them out from behind your back and really open up that heart chakra. Which I also hear root chakra, especially since she's all red. Okay. Your present self. Great card. You received a beautifully independent, creative, talented, fruitful, spiritual, person. Someone who has definitely, as this is shown up, gone through this at least once in your life, but I bet multiple times. And regardless of all that, strive to be able to be in this position, and that shows me that you've healed a good portion of yourself, especially 8 to a 9. You have 2 9s and 2 7s. So to me that says that there's a change that's coming, and you know, changes can be challenging. It depends on the circumstance, but I think that each of these 9s is an advice for each of these 7s. it's like no one can take anything from you if you make everything yourself, right? Which is good. That's a good way to be independent. But that also keeps you in a place of independence because in a way, perhaps subconsciously, your inner child is interfering with your present self. And your present self seems to be that you're going somewhere. Well, this is a good card to receive. Generally, it can be more of a challenge, but I see it in this moment, in this sort of spread, where your future self is saying, well, it's interesting here. You have the Tower on the bottom of the deck, which is the undercurrent. And this, again, can represent ego. It can represent parts of our selves, whether that be in this physical realm or just within ourselves, that needs to be deconstructed because it wasn't built appropriately. But because of this Tower, a lot of times, it comes because of this character. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that because well, I will pull a clarifier, but I also just saw that he's looking into the future, right? And I heard, like, generally this is a card of, like, trickery or just someone not being considerate of other people's feelings at times. It can represent that. But I just see here that, like, he's choosing to carry these certain thoughts, these certain perspectives, these certain opinions that are true to him. And he's got to leave these two behind. There's something that he has to leave behind in the future, and really only can hang on to those two. I want to see, because that's kind of, I mean, the Hermit below it means the more that you are introspective, Alright, well, that fell on that, so I'm going to leave that there. We'll talk about that in a second. This Seven of Swords. These two. I knew it. Okay. Well, there's your card, Libra. On the bottom of the deck. Now, your future self is going to test you. That's what's happening. Okay. Basically what's going to happen here, or what is possibly happening here, because I think when we make these readings, when you watch this, it's the right time to watch it, and it will be relative to then. That's why some people, I think it's funny when some people maybe, well, it's fascinating either way, but when people like or more so dislike, say, a video that's from mid-March to mid-April, but it's posted the end of February, it's like that timeline hasn't even happened yet, and people are already like, nah, you know, like instantly going to the negative. So me bringing that up, there's something about that, your thought process, slightly living in the, there's something that ties you to negativity, and that binds you from being more mentally expansive in yourself and really healing that inner child. Now, in the future, because right now you're very independent and you're doing a good job, not only in your finances, but definitely above this angel here within your spirituality, and I think that that's beautiful. I know that that's beautiful. I can feel it. But in the future, you're going to be tested. It's like there's going to be people on your path that are going to just be there to see how you will react, to see how you will behave, to see what you will accept, and how you, like, whether you'll stay, whether you'll walk away, whether you'll get mad, whether you, all of that. And it's really going to test your patience. It's really going to test your patience, but you have to remember that this woman usually, I mean, she can just work presently, independently up until this point just for her. But usually there's a goal in mind. Like, she's trying to get to the king, you know? And she's almost there. Now, what you need to drop about your ego. Well, there's something about your ego that you're a little defensive sometimes. And you're a little guarded when it comes to you being able to, like, truly be vulnerable and comfortable ultimately in your own skin. Like, truly being yourself within a relationship. There's something that your ego is blocking you with that. For those of you, either, it doesn't matter, involved or not, like, and I think when you solve this inner child situation, being atop of this Seven of Swords, because a lot of times this is like defending yourself and all that you've built, but you're in a good position to do so because you've climbed this hill, because you're, it's almost like the Queen of Swords or something. But I mean, Venus is in retrograde till June, so I don't think anybody really should be, especially Libra. It's in your 7th house of relationships. It's in your house, in reverse. So that's testing you too. But I think most of you that are single probably don't care. You're actually focusing on sorting out situations like yourself and how you really feel about situations, and especially with the Hermit and Judgment and the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Lovers also can represent, like, good decisions. Well, decisions in general. They don't, we can make bad ones. But, I mean, there's no wrong ones, but there's bad ones. Before you make any decisions during this month, well, any time in life, you want to give yourself a pause. Because unconsciously you may be blocking certain situations from entering your life because this situation is still within you somewhere that hasn't been sorted out yet. Now, your strength of the matter, amazing. The Judgment card. There's an angel here, so right on. I also really enjoy that there are so many, like, nude people. It's really about, like, all these clothes, all these coverings that we have, all these definitions of ourselves, and, like, what we wear is, like, who we are, and what we drive, and all this stuff, and, like, that's not what life is. Who you are is who you are. You in your skin. Like, if all we had was ourselves, would we be happy with it? And I think that in this moment, there's a lot of bells going off in your head about, for a good chunk of you, like, the own beauty of yourself. I mean, look at this. Like, it's all Venus, like, she also gained these not only through hard work, but through faith. Faith in herself that she can do it. And for those of you that are, like, aren't hearing these bells in your head, you're not, like, really, there's two angels here. You're not, like, being in tune with yourself. Really taking this quiet time. Then the advice is that this is even more important to you. This Hermit, because this is your advice. And it's to be introspective. And I like that he's pointing his lantern, like, back at Judgment. It's like the introspection is going to be able to have you see, shed more light on the fact that everything has happened for a reason up until this point, and the more that you're comfortable in your own skin, the further you will be able to expand in yourself and in all of your resources as a person. But you're going to be tested. But I think that, like I said, it's just, I feel like being comfortable in your own skin, who you actually are, like being honest about that with yourself, like really being being justice, like you know your own truth. You're not going to be tricked because you know what's fair, Libra. You know what's fair. What's fair to you, what's fair to other situations. There's just some situations you're going to have to walk away from. And there's some in this, especially in this line, and there's some situations that, you know, you can stop and pause for a second, but you got a garden to tend to. Like, you got to keep your schedule in order. And if you don't, there's going to be a judgment call about that too, because responsibilities are extremely important. Especially if you're working towards a goal, which I see her going to the king. She really wants to go to the king. So keep it up. I mean, this is a pretty positive reading. I mean, it's actually quite balanced and like based in reality. It's not like, you know, twin flame. I mean, no offense to these readings, but like, you know, twin flame, super duper love, like love once in a lifetime. It's like, no, man, you can have love anytime you want. You can have happiness anytime you want. It's just like what we're able to accept and what we're willing to change. And I really see this, I actually want a little bit more advice, because sometimes it's hard to be reflective. I mean, air signs particularly, like, you can process things in your head so well that you think that you sorted it out, but there's still something that's binding you. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, there's still something that binds you that actually makes you think that you can't trust people in a way. And maybe part of that is you're not able yet to really truly feel like you can trust yourself in the decisions that you're making, particularly with the way you're moving forward with your finances, and the way that you're moving forward in your own independence, and the way you're moving forward in your relationships. How is there an advice that I want an advice? I mean, that is, the Four of Cups is a gratitude card. So, you know, really, like, when you wake up in the morning, like, what are the first words that you say? You know, like, you know, do you just get up and, like, run to work? Or do you just take a little extra time and, like, stretch and eat something really healthy? Right, because you have every possibility of resolving this. And it may take you, I mean, for some of you, it's going to take you, like, this whole month to sort it out. I mean, this could be a lifelong process, you know, and not everybody's at this point in the path. They'll either be catching up soon, or they've already gone past it. But this is the card of alchemy. It's also here, the ego, leaving the ego behind. Like, and another angel. I mean, look at this. You have 3 angels. All on your side. All to help you on this journey. I mean, they're here for everyone. They're just kind of unemployed because angels aren't allowed to help us unless we ask for their help. No one actually will probably help us, unless you're a Libra maybe, unless we ask for help. And I think that that's a big message, right? Particularly with this Eight of Swords. Like, ask your angels, like, ask God, whoever you talk to, just say it out loud if you don't know what you believe in yet. You know, just be like, I need help with this. Like, I still feel stuck about blah. I really would like to get to this point, but I feel a little bit of afraid. And what are the next steps that I'm supposed to take? And then just be really quiet and wait and listen. Alright, Libra? I am wishing you the best. Let me know what you think about these readings. I dig them. I think they're cool, but, yeah, anyway, I'd love to hear what you think. I really appreciate all of you, and your opinion matters to me. This is for you, you know? Alright. Wishing you the best. Till next time. Peace.